I have made a severe lapse in judgment, and I can't remember what Logan Paul said. Hello guys, how are we? Just wanted to come into today's video and talk about the future of the channel. And guys, it's pretty sad to say, but we will be going on next year. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you would have been disappointed, but we are going to keep on going with this channel. I think it was Cardman made a video pretty similar to this a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of thought it was a good idea to just talk about the year that was, because our channel grew like crazy over the year, and I thought we'd just go over a couple of things, a couple of goals that I set for myself and for the channel for the year, and just wanted to review the whole year in general. Basically how the video is going to set up is just looking at a couple of the analytics over the year, how the sub count and how the channel grew, looking at a couple of goals for the channel throughout the year, see how we hit them or didn't hit them, and I want to take a look at some goals that I've set for the channel in 2025, and then I wanted to actually rank all the video essays that I did across the year, and then I'll finally go over a couple of things that we're going to be doing for 2025. So yeah, if you guys enjoy that sort of stuff or want to learn about what we've got looking forward and how the year went, well, make sure to stick around. If you don't think this video is really for you, then that's totally fine, and we'll catch you, I guess, in the next one. But let's start with the year that was. So throughout the year, I think we started on under 400 subs, I'm pretty sure, and overall we crept up like crazy. From the recording of this video, we've gone to 2,200 subscribers. So we've grown by nearly 5 times. So I'm super happy with that. Thank you so much for everyone who has joined throughout the year. From the goals that I did set for myself for the year, the goal that I set for this channel for the YouTube channel to hit this year, I was happy if we hit 1,500 subscribers, and we absolutely smashed that. We got to over 2,000 subscribers. I'm really happy with that. Never really expected that to happen so quickly. So thank you so much for all of that. Now on TikTok and other social media platforms, I really wanted to grow them this year, but I kind of got a bit, I don't know if it's, I guess laziness would probably be the way. I kind of got so fixated a little bit more on the YouTube stuff with the video essays, trying to get them right, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, I was trying to hope to get about 1,000 followers on TikTok, and we got to about 400. So I think that's pretty good, but we probably should have done a little bit better. I feel like, especially if I pushed out those short little information TikToks that I was doing, I'm sure you've seen a couple of them when I just made like a minute-long video about a certain topic in the AFL. They actually did really well, and along with the clips for the live streams, if we did that throughout the whole year, I feel like we could have got to 1,000. So a little bit disappointed that I didn't really push through on that, but I think definitely next year we can hit that mark pretty easily. On the podcast, on my goals for the year, I was hoping to get an average of 50 listeners per episode. That was nowhere near. I think we hit about 7, which there's some things that we can do better on the podcast, I'm going to be honest. Try and sort that out with my brother, try and get some new things to do with the podcast and stuff. We definitely need to get a new mic. I know some people have said they can't hear us half the time, or can't hear my brother half the time. So we definitely have to get a new mic. Maybe we can get guests in the future, like different YouTubers and stuff. A couple of, I think 1 or 2 guys in the content space have reached out to like do collabs next year. So I'm definitely going to do that to try and grow on other people's channels, to try and get the channel to grow a bit more, but we'll see how that plays out. Keep consistent. I wanted to try and do 1 podcast a week. I'm going to tick that off as a pass mark, even though we did miss 1 episode, but that was really out of our control. I was stuck in the country town for over 7 days without a car, no internet access. My brother wasn't around, so I'm not going to count that one. I felt like we would have done an episode, I think, that week, so I'm counting that as a tick. And one thing that we'll get into a little bit later about growing it, but for channel members, now we did get a couple. I think we got 2 channel members throughout the year, which, I mean, if anyone's going to be giving away their hard-earned just to support us, I am super grateful. We only got a couple, which I am really happy about, but I would like to grow that a bit more as well, because I think that's definitely a way to build a community of people to support us a bit more. So I'm going to try and think of some ideas for exclusive content for channel members in the future. My goal for this year was 20, so that wasn't really that close. So I had to think about that a bit more. Like getting the sub goal of 2,000, like that's great, but I was never going to hit 20 members. So that's kind of like realizing what we can do going forward. I think that's a good idea. And the final goal that I had for the year was to hit 10 main channel videos. So that's like video essays and trade videos. We absolutely smashed that. But for the goals for 2025, so I feel like we can double the amount of subs that we get next year. I think we can go more than that. I think we can get to 5K. I think that's not an easy goal. I think it's going to be tough. I'll have to stay consistent with the video essays, but we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But I think with that, 5K subs, I want to try and put out 15 video essays throughout the AFL season. And then with the channel members, we got 2 this year. Because I'm going to start doing a lot more focused stuff for channel members as well, I think we can get up to 15. Now, that may be a big call. Obviously, people don't have to do that. Obviously, it's a paid thing. So if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. I understand. Like, I'm a fucking guy who sits in his room and makes videos. If you want to give us a couple of bucks a month, then I want to make it worthwhile. So I think that's what we're going to do. On the stream front, I want to do it once a week. Now, at least once a week, maybe twice, but I don't want to, all of this stuff here is just for the channel stuff. I've got some goals that I want to make next year with my wife, with, maybe potentially starting stuff up with her as well. So, I'm going to be doing other stuff outside of this, but purely on the channel stuff, I do want to do at least one stream a week because I really enjoy the streaming, the commentary stuff, talking to you guys about the current footy space, because I did kind of taper off throughout the year. One week I would do it, one week I wouldn't do it at all. Another week I'd do it 2 times. So, I want to try and do it consistently at least once a week. I think I can do that definitely. And throughout the streams, I got to do it at the halftime breaks. I was doing it throughout part of the season, but then I stopped it. I got to post the clips of this commentary because it grew the channel on TikTok quite a lot. It got a lot of views. It got views over other platforms. So that's something I've got to continue to do. Now on TikTok, I think I can double the count. We got about 400 now. I think we can get to 1,000 subs and if we 1,000 followers. And if we hit 1,000, then we can start live streaming on TikTok as well, which just opens up a bunch more viewers. I do think the AFL space is ruled, for content-wise, is ruled by TikTok, not so much YouTube. I think YouTube's a great way to, earn money as well. TikTok doesn't earn you any money, but that's where you get your followers from, is TikTok. So I've got to start focusing a lot more on that sort of content. So that's where I'm going to be trying to shift a bit of, not too much focus, like nothing's going to challenge on the YouTube channel, but I do have to start moving my focus a little bit more to TikTok as well and start posting more on there. With the podcast, we've got 7 average listeners a week. Now, this is just on Spotify, obviously on YouTube. YouTube has quite grown a lot for our podcast, so I do really appreciate that. But I want to try and grow on a Spotify as well. So I think we can get to 20. Now, I know that may be a big call. That's over double. I think we can do that. If we post once a week, we start continuing to grow on YouTube. That's where more people are going to follow it. On Spotify as well, you don't get any ads, so you can listen to the whole thing and you don't have to listen to the ads. You're just listening to it in the car. Spotify is a great way to listen to it. So that's where I want to try and grow that as well. And finally, the other goal that I have for the channel is increasing the support on other platforms. So things like Instagram as well. And I will talk a little bit about this a little bit later, but I am going to start streaming a little bit more simulcasting. So doing it on both platforms on Twitch as well. Because I think, I'm not going to stop streaming on YouTube because that's where all you guys are. And I'm not going to take the content away from you. But on Twitch, I think there's not really a lot of people doing it over there. Not really streaming AFL sort of stuff. And there is actually stuff that you can, sport is streamed on Twitch. And I think it's an untapped market. I do think we can grow it more on Twitch. And I think if we can get it over Twitch and we can grow a following over there as well, then eventually we get more people over to YouTube and that's how we grow this shit. Because I think that's how we can keep on growing it. I think that's how we get this sort of stuff to get even bigger. But now I want to talk about the video essays throughout the year. So I did 15 video essays throughout the year. I'm pretty happy with that. I thought I did more than that, but 15 still very good. Throughout the whole year, I did 15 video essays. And I put on this tier list of the video essays that I've ranked. So S tier, I think are the best ones of the year that I did. The ones that I'm super proud of. A tier, I'm very happy with. B tier, there was a couple of issues with them that I felt I could have done a bit better. C tier, just some issues that I had with it, and D tier is the worst one of the year. So first of all, I want to talk about the one in D tier. And it's actually a video that's got a lot of views for the channel. I think it's got 23,000 views. And it is the journalism video. And I think it's the worst video essay that I did for the year. And I'm going to explain why. And I've written a couple of notes as to why. I should have done a lot better with this video. Personally, I do think AFL journalism is an absolute joke at times. I really do. I think they just post a lot of clickbait bullshit. But I went the wrong way about the video and covering a lot of the topics. A lot of the stuff that I researched, a lot of the stuff that I covered, I researched pretty poorly, I'm going to be honest. For example, with the Cam McCarthy, Caroline Wilson statement, she basically said that there needs to be some investigation into Fremantle with mental health. Now, alone, that sounds pretty insensitive. This happened pretty much straight after Cam McCarthy took his own life. So I thought it was pretty insensitive. But in looking at context, about the fact that we've actually seen multiple players who have been at Fremantle have then taken their own lives. Maybe there needs to be a little bit more of a conversation about mental issues with some clubs, with players in clubs. I think that's a
fair point to make. I do think it's a little bit insensitive the way that she brought it up like that, but the fact that I researched it quite poorly, and there were a few people in the comments who actually rightfully pointed that out. And I think I kind of got away with a lot of the things that I got wrong in that video because people just don't like journalists. And that's more than fair. A lot of them are fucking assholes who just capitalize on bullshit topics and milk a story for all that it's worth. But I went about that the wrong way, and I should be right. I should have done a lot better with it. Another video I do want to talk about here is in C tier, which is the 20th team video, which is the most popular video on the channel. I just want to talk a little bit about this one because it is the most viewed. I think it's a pretty good video, but the one issue that I did have with it, and people pointed out pretty quickly, is the fact that I shafted WA very quickly. I didn't really look into enough detail about WA having a third team. I just kind of thought that WA doesn't need a third team and kind of forgotten about them, basically how a lot of people feel. And people in WA who saw that video, rightfully, not upset, but just like, come on, we've got to give more of an update. And that's why in the second part, I felt like it was a lot better. I did focus a lot more on WA and do think that a third team in WA could work. S tier, the first one is the Swanee Wobbles video. That's the one we talked about, the Swans losing 4 grand finals in a row now. I think I covered that one super well. I think I covered it pretty evenly as well, considering I am a Swans fan. That I think I just covered that one very well and very unbiased. So I was very happy with the way that came out. I think the Mr. Beast expose video thumbnail was very good as well. So I would definitely cover that one. And my favourite video for the year is going to be the last video essay that I dropped, which was the woke one. And I think I personally love the way I did that one. I think it's the best one that we did. I know it doesn't have the most amount of views. I think I kind of dropped it a little bit too late in the AFL season, kind of when the topic of AFL kind of fell off throughout the year. But I think if you watch the video, you kind of know the fact that I'm not really much of a political person. So I think the way that I covered this topic was very objective. And I'm pretty proud of it. I actually liked it. I think the wider media do push so much political propaganda on each side, whether that be left wing, right wing, fucking whatever side of the spectrum you're on. I think it pushes people into these pseudo echo chambers and then people just get to a point where they don't want to listen to other outer views. They just want to listen to their own views. Now that people have got so politically brain rotted, people now just see that and now have pushed it into other spots like sport. And like, I don't really like the idea of politics in sport. I don't. I think it's a little bit crap. Like, the reason why sport is so amazing for the world is because it takes your brain out of the real world. But a lot of the issues are just non-issues. Like, I think the welcome to country sort of stuff, people get so angry about that, and it's like, why? Like, the game doesn't start at a different time. I'm just getting into the video. If you want to watch the video, watch the video. I'm really proud of it. And I think that's really why I was so poor in the journalism video, is because I really don't, I have a pretty big dislike for modern journalism in any space, whether that's sports to politics, really. I kind of had a bad view going into making that journalism video, which is why I kind of messed it up, I think. What I'm trying to focus on now is, like, if I'm going into a video essay video that I'm making, I don't want to have, if I have a view of something, I need to still try and be objective about it and try to be objective going into the topic, not have my head set straight on, okay, I hate this point, like journalism or something, so I need to be looking for bad stuff. I need to be looking at it a bit objectively. But that's pretty much all the stuff I wanted to cover about the video essay stuff. So let's talk about the future of the channel for 2025. First of all, the review will be coming back every single round of the year, obviously. The podcast every single week, as we promised, we've been still doing that anyway. Tips every single week, it's a separate video. Planning to do a stream once a week, and I'm thinking, like I said, to do dual streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Sorry guys, just a little bit of a jump scare here. I was just editing this video, and I actually wanted to talk about the new members perks that we've got. So I thought I'd add some stuff that you guys can, one, get involved in, but two, just add a little bit more that is Boundary Riders focused. So first of all, we'll have early access to all the content, video essays, podcasts, any other videos that we drop. Every member gets early access to that. That's pretty obvious. We're going to start live streaming the podcast that we do every single week for channel members. I thought that'd be really cool. Something pretty simple that we can do, but it's an added perk that I think that a lot of people would enjoy. I think we're also going to be doing a monthly podcast. So me and my brother were doing a podcast for a while called the Twinners Podcast. We just talked about things going on in our life. So I think what we'll do is we just do that once a month, but we'll do it for channel members. So I think that'll be really cool. So everyone can watch that, learn a little bit more about us, learn about the behind the scenes stuff for the channel. I think that'd be really cool. Perk that I'm really excited about, it's something that you guys can get involved in, the member vote. As you guys know, if you've been on the channel for a bit or throughout the season, we did the review every single week. We gave the Boundary Riders votes, the 3, 2, 1 for every single game of the season. What we're going to do next year is every single player that gets picked for 3 votes in a game, so best on ground in our opinion, we'll put them in a poll, and whoever gets picked the most, like is the best player of the round, you guys will get the members vote. So that's 1 vote every single round of the season, 25 votes that you guys will get. So if you want to become a channel member, that can definitely sway the vote to the Boundary Riders medal. Something that you guys can be involved in. You guys have your say. And I think that's a really cool way that you guys can get involved in the content, the review. I've loved doing the Boundary Riders medal the last 2 seasons that we've done it. Zach Butters won it first. Zach Merritt won it the next year. Won it this year, sorry. So I think that'd be really fun that you guys can all get involved in. I thought, get involved in the review. You guys really like the Boundary Riders medal count that we do every year. If you want any more explanation about the perks in particular, if you're thinking about it, click the link and it will tell you a bunch of information. But if you have any extra questions, just leave a comment down below in this video and let me know what you think. With the video essays, they will be back going into 2025. Planning to drop a new video essay every 2 weeks throughout the season. And at the start of the AFL season in March, the first 3 weeks of the season, I'm going to be dropping 3 video essays. So every single week there will be one, and there will be 2 every 2 weeks, if that makes sense. I've already done a couple. So there's already 4 video essays out on the channel for membership right now. I've made 4 all ready to go. They're going to be coming out next year for everyone. So if you want to wait till next year, that's totally fine. But these videos on screen right now are video essays that you can watch right now as channel members. Now you can see there's already a couple of views on them. So people have actually already checked them out. My brother's already watched them over. He thinks they're pretty good. He thinks they're the best videos imaginable. You can watch all 4 of these video essays right now. And I'm going to be making a bunch more throughout the off season as well. I'm kind of going to bank them up and then put them out throughout the season as video essays, and that will just keep that steady flow of the video essays coming out every single couple of weeks, because I want to still have, I don't want to be focusing on that video essay stuff throughout the year too much like I do, but I also know that like the other content kind of fell to the wayside throughout the season. With the trade videos, for example, we kind of didn't drop a lot of them, and I feel like that's a good way to get some people following as well. But finally, I just wanted to make a big thank you to all of you. Like, I never really thought this channel would not pop off, but like just get off to this point so quickly. I know it's been a year. Like some people's channels like pop up to 50k subs. The fact that we got to 2k in a year was amazing. We were so happy with that, me and my brother. So thank you so much for following. We've monetized me and my brother talking about footy every week. So the fact that that's the case is just amazing. So I really do appreciate that. I have so much love for this content that I make for footy lovers. I know AFL YouTube is pretty small. It's a pretty small knit community as far as I know. There are a few channels that are over like 40k subs, but there's not a lot. And like 40k subs in the space of YouTube is pretty negligible. Like you think about, I like watching commentary videos about YouTube crappy drama, just the stuff to put in the background. Or you look at Mr. Beast, for Christ's sakes. He's like 122 million subscribers, or he's like over 200 mil, I think now. So 40,000 is like nothing. So he would get that in the first 30 seconds of a video, that many views. But for AFL, it's a pretty small-knit community, but I think it's growing massively. One day, I think this could be a full-time job for me, become one of the bigger channels for AFL YouTube, and I think we can really take over this shit in the next year. I really think we can. I have a real love for this. I have a real desire to make it bigger, and the only way that happens is with you guys. So if you take anything else away from this video, it's the fact that I'm so thankful for you guys joining throughout the year. We're going to continue to grow in 2025. We have a lot of great plans, some that I've told today, some that I probably got to keep to my chest for the year. But that's pretty much all we've got for this video. So if you did stick away to this long, thank you so much for the year that was. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Have a good Christmas. Have a happy new year. And I guess for now, we'll catch you all in the next one.